Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 9 of Agoge TV with me, your host Phil Leonard, and my co-host Josh Summersgill. Can never say your name, mate. on
Just
today's,
call him Wendy.
on today's podcast, we have our guest Kate Callender. Kate is currently working for the NHS. She's a nurse in the critical care department, I believe. And anyone who follows Kate on Instagram and Facebook knows that despite having a super busy family life and being a full-time nurse, that she still always finds time to get all of the training in. So today we're going to be looking for get some great advice about how to train around a busy schedule. So trying to get that going, I'll let Kate explain a bit more. So first of all, can you explain to me what a critical care nurse is?
I think a lot of people know at the moment. Yeah. I used to work in ITU. I work on the wards now. So we kind of see all the sick patients that need to go to ITU or are coming out of ITU, and we like hold an emergency bleep for medical emergencies and things. So it's fun. I like it. It's a good job. It's been better than it is at the moment, but it's a good job in general. And I've done it for 21 years.
Right. Okay.
I know. That's depressing.
So obviously with the current coronavirus situation, how is it affecting not just like your work, but how is it affecting your training as well? Or is it affecting your training?
Not as much as I thought it would, to be honest. Because I'm really lucky. I've got a garage that I've cleared out, and I've got some equipment that I've bought that I can't afford, but my plan is to sell it when all this is over. Basically, I have no money to pay for anything, but I'm not going anywhere. So I've bought some stuff. It's true though, isn't it? I've got a rower, I've got some weights and a pull-up bar and some bits and bobs and a coach that just programs it around my time, what shift I'm on, and what equipment I've got in the garage. So to be honest, at the moment, the training is keeping me sane. And I don't mean like, I just mean the pressures of work and homeschooling and kids. And if I couldn't fit in some training as well, I don't know how I would manage. So it's really useful for me still to be able to do it. And even if I didn't have all the equipment, I'd find another way. I'd do something in the garden and it's just time. That's the issue. You know, you've got to do it with 2 kids hanging around instead of being able to nip off to the gym and spend your time there. But it definitely makes me feel better, and it helps me cope with the work I have to do. I'm sure Rachel's probably the same, Josh.
Yeah, well, to be honest, she's not obviously trained much at the minute because of what's going on. But before she did, like it was a big thing for her as well. Just like
it's such a big mental release, you know. It's like, if you're having a low day, or if things are getting on top of you, or you want to get out of the house, or claustrophobic, because we all are, it just gives you that little endorphin release and a bit of a mood lift. You know, we all get it, or we wouldn't do CrossFit to start off with, and it gets me through the day. It's sad to admit that, I suppose, but it's a big part of my life, so I couldn't have stopped it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are the same. Like I say a lot of people, like anyone who trains regularly at the minute, because it is just a day. I think they're making it happen more than they probably would have done if it had been like, oh, I'm having 2 weeks holiday. I'm going away for a month. They probably wouldn't have made it happen as much as people.
No.
Way to do that.
People were terrified. People in my gym were actually anxious about the thought of the gym closing. I'm sure it was the same with you guys, and I don't think people understand, unless they have that mentality themselves, how important it is and how much a part of your life it is to be able to do that all the time. And people were saying, can I sneak in the gym? Can I do this? Can I do that? And you just can't. But the anxiety of it and kind of not knowing when it's going to end is the worst part, probably. But it's a good time to work weaknesses, isn't it? It's a good time to do boring stuff. No one's doing any comps, so you don't have to be doing anything fancy. You can work on stuff on your own in the privacy of your own house, and then hopefully come back fat and alcoholic, but improved.
I'm definitely working on the fat thing. That's that.
Oh my God. And the wine at night.
For dinner yesterday, I had a flapjack and some like Pringles. I was like, what?
Yeah. Because you can.
I'm a nutrition coach, everybody.
All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
nutrition talk tomorrow about how to have a good habits and routine. And
yeah, but we clearly none of us have.
So, obviously, super busy. Have you got any advice for people? Like you say, you always manage to fit it in, and so you always manage to fit your training in and around your schedule. Have you got any advice for people? Because again, it's all well and good me saying to people, yeah, you got to fit it in around the kids and make it like, advice coming from me, who I only see my daughter on the weekends, isn't as valid as somebody like yourself. So have you got any advice for people who are struggling to get that in, how you make it happen?
Well, what we've done, and I don't know if it'll work for everyone else, but we've literally almost set a schedule, and that's partly so that the kids have a bit of a routine, because they need that. They can't just suddenly not have school and friends, and they need structure. Well, you'll know that if you've got your own. So we've got like a rough routine set up. Yeah.
Can me and Mum make a snail garden?
Yes.
Because we found an alive.
Go find some snails. Go on.
We found one already.
So what we've done is, I mean, the Easter holidays are a bit of an exception, but we'll maybe have like an hour and a half of schooling, then some playtime. Can we be quiet? And then I'll schedule in time for me at the end. So maybe at about 4 o'clock, when they're wound down with schoolwork or whatever jobs they wanted to do, they're tired and they're quite happy to just sit and watch telly for an hour. Or I'll maybe say you can have an hour of your Roblox, an hour of your iPad, which is slightly bad, but times are difficult, so you've got to make the most of it. I try to get them to join in, but no chance. So I fill the day with fun stuff for them, so then I don't feel bad for disappearing into the garage for 90 minutes and they can just chill out and watch a bit of TV. And that kind of works for us. Otherwise, I don't think I'd get around to it.
No, I don't think, like you say, it's kind of bad, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I definitely when I've got Cora, if I'm trying to like if I, even before all this happened, I might take her to the gym and be like, right, here's your Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to though, don't you? I don't think it does them any harm long term.
No, like if you want,
as long as they're not sat on it permanently, do you know what I mean? Like, it's and they actually learn.
And
a lot
you know what?
well.
You're setting a good example for them as well, because they're seeing that no matter what happens with the coronavirus and no matter what happens with their home life, that their parents are still staying fit and healthy and finding ways around the lockdown to still do that. And I want them to see that, and I want them to know how important it is to be healthy and kind of set the precedent that they want to be the same when they're older, and how important it is to stay active. And I've been doing kind of mini CrossFit circuits with them in the garden, if I can as well. But like 15, 20 minutes, because the attention span's just gone after that. But it's all based around stuff that they see me doing. So if they like see me doing a snatch or something, then I'll teach them how to do a one-handed snatch with a 1 kilo plate, or they'll do skipping and running and handstands, and I'll sort of mix it in and say, oh, this is in CrossFit, this would be the gymnastics part in CrossFit. So they feel like they're doing the same thing, but still getting some activity. And we do Joe Wicks. We all do Joe Wicks every morning as well, which isn't very CrossFit, but it's quite hard. To be honest.
My missus did it the other day. She was like, she come out and she was like, this is hard, I'm proper sweaty.
It is. It's way harder than I thought.
I just couldn't see myself jumping around on TV doing it. I mean, like,
no, it's quite, and you have to like pretend to be a rabbit and stuff as well. And yeah, you've got to forget that people can see you. But we house party my mum, and she does it with me and the kids every morning. That's how we keep in touch with them. But they're forced to do some exercise as well.
No, it's cool though, because you still get to talk to each other and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
That's the start of our schedule of the day, and then it just kind of goes in 2 or 3 hour slots until I train.
Yeah.
And so far, touch wood, it works.
Brilliant. I like it. And it does go back to all the things that we've talked on the podcast previously about like having a schedule and having certain parts of your day that are just and making them happen. And
you just waste it otherwise, don't you? The day you slip away watching television all day and eating rubbish, and you've achieved nothing.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely fell in that trap for the first couple of days.
Oh yeah, we all did.
I was kind of like, I've got a couple of films to watch. I'll watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Josh, you've still got to watch Tiger King, by the way.
I've seen like the first 2 episodes of it.
All right, okay.
And it's driving me crazy. I'm just like, what the fuck is this program?
I've never heard of it.
No,
Is it?
No.
On Netflix. It's called Tiger King. It's weird as fuck.
I'm too busy watching Trolls and all the other stuff.
You can't watch this with the kids, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, definitely watch. So we're doing a podcast tomorrow with one of our friends, and I've already told him that's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna have to watch it now when the kids are gone to bed.
You just like you'll sit there wondering what's gone wrong with you when you watch it, but at the same time you won't be able to stop. It's
not like that love at first sight thing, is it?
I've never watched.
No, that's shite.
No.
Rach was watching that. That's fucking atrocious.
No.
Awful. Bad television.
Times are hard.
Got Netflix. It's these days. Okay, I love it. So, again, bring it back to training around life. I think you do a great job of it. Obviously, you said you've got a coach, and I've seen you doing your jousty shapes.
Yeah.
And he is. I know Jousty is a wizard. I've been seeing him, and he helped me sort my knee.
Oh yeah.
Is Jousty your actual coach, or is it one of his? Is it Ash or?
No, it's Joust.
It's Joust. Okay. So how does having a coach? Because I've got a coach as well. That obviously, I know how much of a benefit. It is. How does having a coach there in times like this is it such a massive benefit for you? Or?
Oh, huge. It gives you accountability for a start.
Yeah.
Because you've got to tell somebody if you've done your workout, haven't you? So, and when you're paying for something, that makes you accountable as well, because it's not cheap, but it's worth it. And I think, well, if I'm paying for it, I'm going to do it. But also, the team of them have got such a good eye for looking at the way that you move and looking at your faults, that whatever they program for you, you know that it's specifically working on something that you're not very good at, or a way of moving that you're not very good at. And it's strange, actually. It's probably not for everybody. Yeah. A lot of people, there's quite a lot of monotonous moving, and you'd have seen what people do and lunging around, but it makes a huge difference. And while I've been off, he's just asked what equipment I've got, what my time schedule is, what time I train, and then they just put everything else in for me, and there's no thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big
cherry pickings. Like otherwise I'd just be cardio, and achieve nothing. And you know what I mean? Because you do, don't you? You think, oh, I've had a bad day, I'll just do this awful workout that I saw on Instagram, and instead I've got something structured, so hopefully I'll go back a little bit improved. But I'm not. I mean, Josh will agree with this. I'm not a natural athlete in many ways. I think that the only thing I've got going. No, I've just got a dogged mentality. I don't move well. I don't pick things up quickly. I'm just bloody minded.
I reckon we've got that in common. I let Josh do the moving well, and I do the.
Yeah. Wendy.
In the flesh.
Yeah.
Not as bendy as it used to be anymore.
No. Yeah, but you're awesome at CrossFit. You were never going to have both, were you?
No, he said he scores yesterday.
You can't be that flexible and that strong at the same time.
Well, we actually touched on this in one of the previous podcasts, saying since I've become less flexible, I actually move better and I'm not injured as much.
Yeah, because you're not. Yeah, well, you can see why though, can't you?
Because it's that very so the example we use, I can't do the mid splits anymore. But yeah,
can you not?
No, not anymore. No, but I don't need that extreme end range of motion anymore. No. You don't catch a snatch in the splits, do you? Do you know what I mean?
No.
So
it'd be good if you could.
It would be good. I'm not. What's his name? Juji Mufu or whatever his name.
Lockdown challenge.
Actual split snatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just quite interesting when we were talking about that as well. So
yeah.
And again, we were talking about it in specificity terms. Like you don't need to be able to hit that end range of motion. So
no.
what,
Well, I've never been able to hit it, so I don't even know I am agreeing. I would have thought so, yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. I don't really have any range of motion. I kind of just click and grind. That's another thing about having a coach, though. I don't get injured now. I'm never injured. So, because I'm never doing stupid, repetitive things in a bad way.
See, I still get injured, but that's because I'm an idiot. Really my own fault. Trying to go really fast on a handstand walk knocked me out for like. How's that?
Yeah, I definitely can't handstand walk in the garage. That would go very badly.
I've actually been handstand walking, and I've got a 12-foot space. And
look at you!
I can only walk.
Oh yeah, but that's by the time you've kicked up, it's like, and then down.
I get up, I walk 4 foot, and then I walk 4 foot back, and then I just keep doing that.
Have you tried it on the grass? I thought I'll try it in the garden instead. It's absolutely impossible. There's no chance. I was saying to the kids, look, I'll show you how to handstand walk. Mummy's been learning to do this for months, and it was just, this is too lumpy and grassy, and it was awful.
No, I mean, Josh can pretty much handstand walk on anything, but me, I'd probably be.
Yeah.
Well, we actually, like, me, you and Stu went to this was like about 5-6 years ago, maybe. We actually learned on a field. We went to.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we went onto a
wow.
football pitch one afternoon on like a Saturday and spent like 6 hours on it just trying to handstand walk.
Yeah.
They did.
Right.
It's a stupid skill. I don't get it. I personally don't get it. I don't get why I will ever feel the need or ever be in danger and need to escape from that situation on my hands. I really don't. But
what if something happens, like, and your feet get, I don't know, blown off,
burnt off?
But yeah, right, and then you've got to escape on your hands.
Well, I hadn't considered that. Yeah, there's always that situation.
Well, you never know.
I mean, I can do it. I wouldn't get far though. I'd maybe get about 5 meters.
That should be your thing that you work on in quarantine.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, I'm not that bad at it. It's not like, well, you know me in gymnastics. I'm getting there.
You're not as bad as you make out.
Kind of am, but.
I don't know. I've seen plenty of competitions where you seem to have done pretty well in. So let's quickly touch on that.
Not for a while.
I don't think anyone's competing for a while.
I know.
But obviously you've competed. I think the last one I saw was it Battle for Middle Ground? Is that your last? I don't stalk it. I'm honest. But
no, it's been a while. I've done a couple of. I think it might have been. Yeah, I've just done a couple of partner ones with my friends. Steve. Yeah. I feel like it's fun.
When I grow up, I will look like him.
Oh, it's not fair, is it? Honestly. Anyway, but we're quite a good team. So if I'm not wanting the stress of an individual competition, a partner one's perfect because you still get to compete, you still get the fun, but without the kind of training that goes into it beforehand. And I had actually planned to do some individual stuff this year, but I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe at the end of the year into next year. It depends what happens, doesn't it? Because everything's on hold at the moment. Yeah, I don't even know what will happen with the Open because that's October.
Yeah.
I suppose it's mainly online, isn't it? But you still need to have a gym.
Mm-hmm. I listened to you're the Talking Elite Fitness. Well, they do. So they were chatting about it on a podcast, and basically, through some deduction, they figured that unless the games happens on a certain weekend in September, they reckon it'll all be postponed to next year.
Oh, so do I. But postpone as in not have an Open?
As in, yeah. They did an episode with Dave Castro. He was discussing the options, but his is to just cancel it and move on to next year.
Because I mean, if they carried it over, the people that qualified, it's going to be like 18 months since they qualified, and they might be 100 times better or have not done anything in that time. That's an impossible one. But can you imagine qualifying for the first time and then it being cancelled?
No, like I was.
Because Meg Lovegrove's got in this year, isn't she? And everyone's absolutely gunning for her. I can't imagine how she must feel now.
Well, is it David Sharonke? I saw
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
In depth, and I was like, and I thought about him. I was like, wow, that'd be like.
I know.
I mean,
they'll have to do something for all that work that they've put in, and there'll have to be something.
Well, I know Rogue is still running an online version. I don't know how they're going to make that look, but they are. So I don't.
It's not the same, though, is it?
Well, we was meant to be going to Athens to compete as a team.
Oh, yeah, let's go down. Yeah. The Athens go down. Yeah.
Devastated, weren't we? And one of the options he said was, you can still compete, but what was it, in front of an empty stadium, like no spectators or something?
You can compete
with spectators. 2 meters apart.
Well, imagine like going to compete, and like it was quite a big arena as well, and there being like no spectators or anything. It's just like, well,
yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
I don't know how the logistics around that would work. You wouldn't even be able to film it.
I know. And then obviously that we fully cancelled it on us, which is obviously.
When was it? July.
We should
be there now, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we should have.
Oh man, really? Oh, that's devastating.
We'd have got back today, wouldn't we?
Mm.
Oh, wow, that hurts.
Oh, that is devastating. Like an abroad competition is a different thing.
But we've got a stick podcast instead, so it's fine. Every cloud.
Oh.
No.
I've missed Glacier Games, that's it. That's my only thing. And I was down to do Raising the Bar as well. But that's June, so that won't be happening.
Did you, where did you judge? Was it at regionals?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I don't know how I managed to get in, to be honest. But I must look better on paper. But it was amazing. I'm so pleased that I got to experience that, and I'm so upset that there isn't regionals anymore now, because it's such a good thing. It was amazing to be there. It was amazing to watch. It was ran like nothing I've ever seen. It was so slick and so choreographed, and it was fantastic. Huh?
Was it the one in Madrid?
Yeah. But I mean, you have to pay for it all yourself. So you have to pay for your own flights, your own accommodation. You have to get there and back yourself. And we all thought at the end, we were like, it's okay. They'll take us to the Reebok shop and we'll give us loads of trainers and stuff. It'll be all that, because you work like 14-hour days. And then on the last day, they said, oh, look, guys, we just want to thank you for all your hard work, and gave everybody a sticker.
Shit.
A bumper sticker. We were like, oh, thanks.
How much is this sticker worth in the Reebok shop?
That aside, it was amazing. It was such a good experience, but it was terrifying.
Yeah. I
was absolutely terrified I'd do something wrong or muck up someone's regional experience, but there's cameras everywhere. You don't see. There's all the judges with their stopwatches, and then there's clocks all over the wall, and then there's cameras and people in boxes watching you as well. So if you muck up, they quickly they'll sort it out for you behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You don't see all that. I always think to myself, do you know when do you remember Davs? I don't know if you'll know Davs. He was level 1 coaches, and he took mine and Josh's level 1, and basically famously judged Rich Froning as he dropped 2013 or 2014. And I always see that, and I remember thinking to myself, imagine judging him there, knowing that he's doing this, going for the
win. I'd be terrified.
Can you imagine no repping him?
I know. I'd have to apologise afterwards.
I put strength in depth, and that was bad enough.
Do you know what, though? Most people just took it really well, because they knew what they'd done.
Yeah.
There was a few that weren't, but luckily I didn't get any of that. So I think that some of the higher level ones would have more to say if they got no rep than the people who just got to regionals because they were, good from their local box. Most people were just happy to be there. They didn't let me near anybody who was going to the games, and understandably.
No, that sounds like an awesome experience anyway.
It really was. I'm gutted regionals don't happen anymore. I was one of the people that watched them, were you not?
I was, yeah. I know Josh
was. Loved it. Yeah.
I would tell Josh everything just to keep him up to date, basically.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The sanctionals are fun, but they're not the same for me. I like watching them, but it's not the same.
I think it was just that everybody doing the same workout and getting to be able to say, well, this guy did this event and the same format, the same sort of time domains and everything.
And being in that arena, that it looked like the games, it felt like the games, it was just not on the same level as the games. You know, it was ran the same way, and never mind. I reckon it might come back, actually. Don't you?
I'd love it to.
Do you not think they made a few too many drastic changes last year, and some of them are kind of starting to wind back now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're backpedaling a little bit now that they've got Castro's allowed to talk again. And then and there's a few.
The Instagram site's back, the Facebook page is back, and I don't know. There was so much kickback above all that. I don't think we'll see.
Yeah, I think what we'll potentially see is just a reduced amount of sanctioned events to only probably 6 to 8 really big, like Rogue and
because I got confused. I didn't know what was going on.
There's 20 odd of them, I believe, in the end.
Was there?
And I couldn't keep, I tried to keep up with it, but couldn't.
Yeah. So. No, I couldn't. I watched the ones that Carrie was in, and I couldn't keep up with the rest of them.
Yeah. No, I literally basically watched anything that had anybody.
Yeah. It's a pity they're not on now. We'd have plenty of time to watch.
Well, like I say, it was just too hard to keep up with. Then I don't think I watched Mayhem, but then I tried to watch the Brazil one, and obviously there's no English commentary, which fair enough, they're in Brazil.
Yeah.
I had no idea. People that I was interested in, so I think there was a few British guys there. I think Joshua Alshalma was there and people like that. And I was like, oh well, I want to see how they're getting on, and just couldn't follow it.
Yeah.
Too much going on.
It's just not. It's nowhere near as good, is it?
No, it just needs condensing a bit, and I think it'll happen. Unfortunately, I think because of all this that's going on, I think it'll happen by a matter of fact, because there'll be some that just can't afford to come back from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got to move swiftly on it, because I want to ask you about how you actually got into CrossFit, because we normally do that first, but I wanted to find out a bit more about
it. A long time ago, actually. I think I was 36 when I started doing CrossFit, 36, nearly 37.
Right.
So, and it probably wasn't really CrossFit, because CrossFit hadn't sort of reached Cumbria at the time. I'd never actually heard of it. We just started, there was just these workouts that were filtering into gyms that were sort of based on functional movements, kettlebell swings, box jumps, pull-ups, things like that. And then somebody just said to me once, we should try and make it a proper CrossFit type workout. And I just started looking into what CrossFit was. And then quite early on, just went off and did a level 1, and it all went from there, really. When I look back and I think about how much I couldn't do when I went to do the level 1, I don't think I could even do pull-ups properly or anything, but it just seemed like a good thing to do. And I've never stopped since then. Went on to do my level 2, few other courses, and it's just been a massive part of my life ever since then. And now I'm 44 this year. So I would still like to compete in a master's circuit if I can. And my big goal is to try and get to the online qualifiers, but that's as I get older, all the master's circuit's getting really, really difficult to do well in. Does that make sense? You're 36, 37, you're the youngest in the pack. Yeah. And now people are snatching 90 kilos at 45, and it's
good
incredible.
People older as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
One of my
you've got to have a little goal, haven't you? But yeah, I'm not intending on stopping unless my body makes me stop.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. I think we always joke about wanting to be able to snatch when we're 100. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wish I'd started when I was younger, because the benefits are so much. They're so much better if you start in your 20s than in your 30s. But it's for everybody, isn't it? Hey?
You just said you wasn't there though, was it? You just said as soon as you got wind of it, you were straight into it. So
yeah.
I think it
was a smaller market then as well, though. It wasn't I joined the first CrossFit box in the whole. No, in Cumbria, I think there might have been one in Carlisle. I think Carlisle was the first to open, and then Callum opened the Workington one, and it kind of has just snowballed where I am now. There's probably 6 or 7 in a 10 to 20 mile radius, which is incredible.
And you're at
Lauren, hang on. What was that massive spilling noise? Will you go and tell Daddy, please? A water balloon has popped. I can just hear water everywhere in the playroom. Go and tell your Daddy, please, and bring a towel downstairs. Now. Only on live. Oh gosh, I can just hear all this water dripping everywhere. I'm not gonna look.
Yeah, no, probably for the best.
It's still dripping. I can hear it now. I don't even know what she's doing it on. Oh
no.
Where was I? Just go and tell Daddy.
I think we were just getting on to what keeps you going, basically. So obviously you started CrossFit probably early on in the UK for sure. You're at Northern Warrior. Is it CrossFit CA?
Yeah. CrossFit CA 22 in Egremont. Tom Blaney and Sam Finley's gym.
Right. Okay. Sick. Shout out to them.
Do they both own it?
Yeah. They bought it from Simon and Carl sold it maybe about 2 years ago, 18 months, 2 years ago, and Sam and Tom bought it.
Is that when it all got like painted up and?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. I actually don't know what my motivation is to keep going, you know.
I was just going to ask whether it is the competition side of it, because I know it is for me. That's it. It helps me. If I don't compete, then I find that I just don't train as hard.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I don't compete as much as I used to. I think it does a lot of good for my mental health, and it makes me feel good. Yeah. And I like it must be the competition aspect of it, even if whether it's competition with yourself or competition with others. It has to come down to that. And I think anybody that does it every day or every day off they have to be a competitive person, whether they think they are or not.
Yeah.
They're either competitive with others or competitive with themselves or lying.
I think you get that a lot. People are like, I'm not competitive, and then 5 minutes later they're like, so how do I beat that time? And you're like,
how long did you spend learning handstand walking on a field? 6 hours.
I'm like, I'm competitive. That's simple as that. It was like,
I used to say I wasn't, and like people would say, well, you know, why do you try things until your hands actually rip? And I was like, yes, you're right.
Yeah. What's that expression that Big Mac always says? One of the lads from our gym, he says something like, too competitive to lose, too shit to win, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh God, that should be my epitaph.
I love that.
that it's so true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because not everyone's gonna achieve. Not everyone's gonna go to the games, but yeah, that's true. You're gonna have to text me that later so I don't forget.
Instagram bio updated.
I'm gonna get it on a t-shirt.
Just have a Big Mac written underneath it as well. Like.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a couple of fun questions to finish off with. I always say that they're quick fire, but they never are. So won't worry too much. So first one, nice easy one: a book or a film recommendation everybody should watch.
Yeah, I'm reading American Dirt at the moment. Actually, it's quite good. Nothing to do with CrossFit and exercise. It's about a mum and her children trying to escape from Mexican cartels and cross the border. I know it doesn't sound like something you'd want to read, but it's one of those ones where you start and you can't put it down. It's so interesting. So yeah, that's my recommendation, because somebody recommended it to me. I was like, but I'm loving it. It's really good.
American
Dirt.
American Dirt. Right, okay, cool. I'll put it in the notes in the show. So.
And the other stuff I read is probably just trash anyway, so I'm pleased I'm reading something half interested at the moment. Am I supposed to say that Ben Bergeron and things like that?
No.
Good.
But we've had Atomic Habits and stuff like that, but other than that,
no, American Dirt's good. Give it a read. Awesome. While you got time now.
Yeah. In a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oh Jesus, I haven't got a clue. Somebody slightly insane. Oh man, how can you ask a question like that? Oh, Gareth Stout and Sandra Bullock. What about personality? The Tasmanian devil. So anything with Sandra Bullock and the Tasmanian devil in is fine.
Love it. And last one is, what is your best experience as part of the CrossFit community?
Oh, regionals.
Regionals. I thought
Judging at regionals. Yeah, makes it sound like I've been there as an athlete then, doesn't it? No, judging at regionals was the best experience in CrossFit ever. I'm so happy that I did it. And teaching. I don't do it anymore. And I've let my instructorship lapse now. I think it lapsed in December, but I wasn't going to pay. I don't have time to do it properly, but I really loved doing that as well. And I'm pleased that I spent 2 or 3 years doing it.
Right. Excellent. Brilliant. Right. So, thank you very much. That was awesome.
Oh, thanks for having me. I hope everyone hasn't fallen asleep watching it.
No, I'm sure people will certainly enjoy it. And there's some really good take homes there as well, which obviously, like I say, we wanted to get you experience with work and how you manage your life training, because we know you always get it in. And I think people will really find it useful. So obviously as well, you are an NHS worker, and we'll thank you directly, but we also want to thank all the NHS staff and employees. I know, I say employees as well, include them, because I know a few people that work in the hospital that probably don't get included. My auntie being one of them. She was this morning. And obviously any emergency workers that are obviously having to put in some big shifts at the minute, all key workers. So thank you very much to all of those, especially yourself. Keep the fun posts coming on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, the CrossFit fails.
I will try and link you up so that people can follow you on Instagram if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Fun stuff that we get up to.
The only reason Kate's done it, she wants the followers. That's it. She doesn't even like us.
Follow this middle-aged CrossFit athlete. You'll never look back.
The best ones. That's what I'm going with.
No one can ever get bored of watching old people work out. You know that.
I never get bored of watching people work out. Personally. There's something about me, really. So guys, don't forget to check out our previous shows. Obviously, we've got you got 8 previous episodes from this one now to go through, and there's some really great episodes in there, especially the one we've just released with Craig, talking about his career as an actor. Subscribe, comment, share, give us a 5-star review if you think we deserve it. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, where you can watch them as well. And like I say, guys, please share. We don't pay for any subscriptions or anything like that. We don't pay for any advertising. So the only way to get it out there is by you guys liking, sharing, and commenting. Thank you very much. Thanks again for Kate and Josh for joining us today. And we will see you all next time. Peace.
Have a good day, everyone. Nice to see you.